kitchen countertop in porcelain tile. I've even had some projects using porcelain tile for the kitchen countertop. But after some time, some clients told me they regretted using it. Look at the first item I'm bringing to you here. I think it might even spark a good debate here. Our kitchen countertop made of porcelain. First, I want to tell you the following. There are some porcelain models that you can't find in marble, granite, quartz, or any other material. The style of the porcelain, the effect it brings, the design it offers, the impression, you just can't find that in any other material. That's why some clients choose porcelain for their countertops, specifically because of that exclusive porcelain style. So that's why they made that choice. However, a lot of people don't think it's cool, don't think it's a good idea to use porcelain on the kitchen countertop for a special reason. It's not the design which is nice, but it's just very fragile, especially the porcelain corners. And I agree with those people, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, okay? Why wouldn't I use a porcelain countertop in a new project anymore? Mine? It's not due to the porcelain's durability, but rather the opposite. Porcelain is a product that's very resistant to stains, temperature, water, anything you put on it, it's very durable. The only downside that makes me not use porcelain in a new project for next year. In your house, for example, it's precisely the durability. Anything that hits the corner, since it's a product with a sharp edge, right? That 90-degree angle there, you know, that corner. So anything that hits there, a pressure cooker, a pot full of water, something like that. When something hits a porcelain tile corner, it breaks, and repairs never restore it to its original state. So this is an item I wouldn't use for next year, and I want to know your opinion. If you have porcelain tile in your house, do you regret having installed a porcelain countertop in your kitchen or in your bathroom? I even recommend it, and it looks really nice and cool, especially because of the variety it offers in its finishes. There we can do a lot of things. Now for the kitchen, I wouldn't recommend you use it for the coming year with the most current decorations. What do you think? So, would you use a porcelain countertop for your kitchen? Since I mentioned the porcelain countertop, now I want to talk about dark colored countertops, okay? We know they exist. Black granite, San Gabriel, green Ubatuba, which are the most commonly used granites because of their value, because they're really cheap, but it's a very dark color. Now, I don't want to talk to you about price, because if we're going to talk about costs here, obviously I think no other material will beat it for making your kitchen countertop. When it comes to cost, granite is one of the cheapest materials you can use for your kitchen countertop and still have good decor. Long-term durability. We know that granite is durable. It's a product you'll put in your kitchen, on your countertop, and then forget about it. Forget it. Once you install it, it's for life, right? So I don't want to talk about the material's durability itself. That's not what I want to talk to you about. But now I want to talk to you about the product's design. Why wouldn't I recommend you use a dark colored countertop for your kitchen? First, because it will make your countertop too dark and you'll feel stuck with it. For example, if you use dark cabinetry as well, if you use both dark stone and dark cabinetry, you're going to make the environment way too dark. And that's the main reason why I wouldn't recommend you use a dark colored countertop. So guys, pay attention. I just don't recommend you use it in a new project. It's all about the aesthetics, not the product price or durability. We already know it has those. Especially granite, but the dark color on the countertop, if you're already using dark cabinetry, if you already have a dark floor, why use a dark countertop as well? You're going to make your space too dark, especially. We're talking about a kitchen. We're talking about a space that needs lighting. We need a bright environment. It's a kitchen, not a bedroom or television room. We need a bright space, right? So you can prepare food, cook. There's the stove, the oven. So in a new project, I wouldn't recommend you use a dark colored countertop. However, I know very well that there are projects where using a dark color on the countertop looks really beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to say the opposite of what I just said. I actually support using a dark colored countertop. As long as your floor is a light color and your cabinetry is also a light color. And when I talk about cabinetry, I'm talking about the cabinet and the overhead furniture, everything that's made of wood, of carpentry. In your kitchen, we use light colors and most importantly, use cool white or neutral white lighting and plenty of lighting. So that the dark, right, this dark black countertop doesn't end up taking away too much of the lighting. So I agree with you on that, but it's also a decoration, a style, and I'd like to hear your opinion. Having this product on your countertop is no problem, it's excellent. But for a new project, if you were remodeling your kitchen, you would still go with a black countertop, right? The most common black options are Gabriel, Verde, Ubatuba, dark granites, or dark quartz. Would you still choose this color for your countertop? Let me know in the comments. For me, a full aluminum handle on the door, like on your drawer, the door of your upper cabinet or your base cabinet, is also another product I wouldn't use anymore. When I'm telling you this, look, we already have the first 3 items here, just in the kitchen, and I haven't even moved on to the others yet. When we're planning the kitchen cabinetry, the base cabinet, the upper cabinet. And for those of you who have been following me here for a long time, especially in the recent videos, you know that I don't like to use that full aluminum handle on the door. I don't like it, I don't enjoy it. Why? Because of the aesthetics. It might be functional, but aesthetically, no. And there were comments here that I read from you saying that for those who have this handle on their cabinetry, it's hard to clean. It comes off easily. There, as you keep pulling because of the glue, it's usually glued on. Some are even screwed in. Anyway, over time, it needs a bit of maintenance, so I don't like it. I don't like using a full aluminum handle on the door or on the drawer in cabinetry. What I like to use myself and recommend is using the door itself as the handle. Okay? Or maybe a smaller handle, something cleaner and subtler so it blends in. Look, so it doesn't take away from the beauty of your cabinetry. Imagine you chose a beautiful color for your cabinetry. Really beautiful. It matches the stone. It matches the floor. Then you go and put a full-length handle across your door. Did you ruin the look of your cabinetry? So that's also something I wouldn't use. It's a decoration I would never use in a new project if you hired me to do it. But I want to hear your opinion. If you have this handle in your house, is it good? Is it functional? And would you keep it in a new kitchen renovation project? A lot of people will agree with me on this one too, which is what? Different types of flooring in the house. For example, you walk into your house and there it is. Porcelain tile in the living room, a different one on the balcony, another in the kitchen, vinyl in the bedrooms, and a separate style in the bathroom. Can you imagine that mess? So, just think about having different types of flooring in your house or apartment. You walk into your home and there's vinyl flooring, your whole living room. Then in the kitchen, it's porcelain tile. On the balcony, it's porcelain tile. In the bedroom, you keep the vinyl. And in the bathrooms, it's traditional porcelain tile. Or is it the other way around? You walk into porcelain tile in the living room and balcony. Then the balcony floor drops, revealing a different porcelain tile. And the kitchen has yet another type. Did you use laminate or vinyl in the bedrooms? So, this mixing, this amount of different types of flooring in a house, honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't use it myself. In a new project, ideally you should have at least one type of flooring for the kitchen, living room, television room, sitting room, and balcony. Maybe even the same one in the laundry room if your kitchen is connected to your laundry area. Then, in the bathrooms, you're free to choose. And also in the bedrooms, because there's a door separating the living room and bedrooms, the hallway and bedrooms, and the bathroom. We'll always have a door dividing them, so I would always use one type of flooring throughout the whole house. Living room, balcony, laundry room, television room, sitting room, kitchen, bathrooms. A different porcelain tile is fine, and use vinyl or laminate flooring in the bedrooms. Alright, but using several types of flooring in a house or apartment, I don't think that's cool, okay? And I'd also like to hear your opinion. Are you one of those people who prefers to use just one type of flooring throughout the whole house, even if that includes the bedrooms? He or you, it's not like I disagree, I just don't agree with your point of view. Here at my place, I have one type of flooring in the living room, another on the balcony, another in the kitchen, and different ones in the bedrooms. I want to hear your opinion. We're here exchanging ideas, sharing suggestions, tips, and opinions. I'm sharing mine, and I want to hear yours in the comments. Floral or really flashy wallpaper, you know that kind of wallpaper that's almost tacky? Let's put it that way because it has so many elements. When I talk about wallpaper that's really flashy, I'm talking about those wallpapers there are flowers, there's that landscape, there are a bunch of pictures, there are a lot of decorative elements on the wallpaper. And then the image of this wallpaper ends up being tiring. Imagine you have a clean living room, really soft, really light, neutral colors, and then you put a flashy wallpaper in there. It's the only thing that will stand out in your living room decor, okay? When I tell you this, I want you to understand that wallpaper is a really good decorative element. Okay, it's a wild card in decoration. You see this here? This here is wallpaper. It's not exposed concrete, okay? You guys always ask me in the videos, like that wall behind you where you make the videos and all, what color is it? What kind of exposed concrete is it? Isn't it wallpaper imitating exposed concrete? And which wallpaper do I recommend for new projects? Either a model like this one or wallpaper with a linen finish, okay? What is a linen finish? It's that material where you run your hand over the wallpaper, over the fabric, and you get that feeling like you're touching linen, you know? That's the best one, in my opinion, okay? It's the best wallpaper product you can put in your house, your bedroom, your living room, your sitting room. Is it okay now to use wallpaper with a lot of elements, a lot of designs on it? I actually think that's been out of style for a long time. Okay? That's why I brought this product here, to get your attention and give you a tip, okay? It's like, okay, you talked about linen wallpaper. Down here in the description, there's the purchase link for one of the models I like to use. If you suddenly want to know what their purchase link is, it's right here below in the description of this video. LED behind the television was all the rage when these Television S came out, with that lighting in the back, that colored LED. You're watching a movie or game and that light behind the television. Look, I know I might get a lot of disagreement for this item I'm bringing to you here, the LED behind the television. However, I want you to see my perspective. If we're talking about a clean television room, a contemporary modern television room, where you used a nice floor, a cool panel carpentry, a beautiful curtain, and also a discreet wallpaper. Why put LED behind the television? Tell me, is it just to have that feeling of lighting behind it? I'm against you using an LED behind your television, especially a colored LED, okay? Let's leave this product for our son's or daughter's room. Let's leave this product for that gamer room your kid has at home. Let's leave it for that environment or for that game room you have, but not in our living room, right, guys? Not in our television room, not in our living room, right? Let's just use the television, no using LEDs behind the television. Taller counter in the kitchen. This one also generated a lot of comments in the previous videos where I brought this item to you, and I would really like to hear your opinion. Taller counter there on the kitchen countertop. Why use a tall counter on the countertop? There? For our cooktop, for example, it's more common to have a countertop at the standard height of 90 centimeters, have the cooktop, and then raise that little L shape and have a taller counter. So that on the other side you can have bar stools. You know, those taller stools for you to have a quick snack there, for example. Why don't I recommend it in a new project if you hired me to do it? Because pay attention to what I'm going to tell you now. A lot of times we spend money to make this higher counter on our stone, right there on our countertop. And in your daily life, you end up not using it. It's just going to sit there as decoration, okay? So, I wouldn't recommend you use it if you're not in the habit of having a quick snack, a quick coffee, if that's not part of your daily routine. I wouldn't recommend it for your family, work, house, or apartment. Now, if you do have that habit, for example, then I agree with you about using this higher counter. In this situation, your kitchen countertop has the cooktop and the table is right here, okay? You live in an apartment, your living room combined with the kitchen is small and everything. So I already agree with you about using the higher counter for what? To protect the area where you have the cooktop in relation to your table. So whether you like it or not, it gives a certain level of safety, right? Having a higher counter, that's the only positive point, the only reason I would use a higher counter. Other than that, if I were to design your kitchen, I would never use a higher counter. Now, it's not that you have to have this higher counter. Just because you see me talking here, you're going to get upset or sad and take it down. Actually, it's the opposite. What I just told you here a little while ago and at the beginning of the video, these are opinions, okay? They're points of view. I'm saying that if you hired me and in the project, I was going to do it for you. If in your kitchen a flat countertop without the higher counter would fit, would I do it? Now, if your apartment doesn't have a combined living room and kitchen, and I noticed that some protection was needed between the cooktop area and the table, obviously I would use it. I'm not telling you that it's out of style. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't use it. Some projects use it, some don't, but I prefer not to use it in new projects. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you use a range hood on your stove, on your cooktop? I recently did a project here, and I even showed some photos and videos of it on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, use the link below. I post many things there that I can't share here on YouTube, especially daily construction updates. I can show them there, but not here. So, in this project I did, we left the spot for the range hood separate, especially. There it was a U-shaped countertop. In this client's project, at the end of that countertop, there was a specific spot, a specific space to install the range hood. The electrical outlet is in place and everything's ready. And then, when the client went, we even suggested some range hood models for him to buy to put in the kitchen so it would look nice and match the project. It's not just because you have a cooktop or a stove that you can put any range hood model, okay? In fact, I'll also leave in the description some models and purchase links for range hoods that I like to use in my projects. Maybe you'll like them too. He came to me and said, Edipo, how long has this project been going? It's been about 6 months. To this day, he hasn't installed the range hood, believe it or not. It's been almost 6 months and he still hasn't put in the range hood. And do you know what he said to me? I spoke to him recently, Edipo Kleber, and he said, I'm not missing the range hood here. I don't feel like I need a range hood in my kitchen. Here, I make breakfast, I make lunch, I make afternoon snacks, dinner, I use the oven, I do everything here, and I don't miss the range hood. So, what I want you to understand is not that the range hood is out of style or that it can't be included in a project anymore. That's not it. Pay attention. There are kitchen designs where the air circulation is very good and it won't get in the way of you cooking your food. You don't need to use the range hood. I got this feedback from the client, from the person here who actually has this situation in his house. I have a range hood here at home, but to be honest, we don't use it very often. So it's a product that in your new project, you have to leave the spot for it, the electrical point, to connect the product. When it's time to install it, but you don't necessarily have to install it right away. What I can tell you is to do a test first in your daily routine. Start using it. Start enjoying your new property, your new kitchen. If you realize, wow, it's going to be necessary, the range hood, you can leave everything ready, but don't buy the product itself yet. You know why? Because it's very expensive. There are range hoods for 1,500 reais, there are range hoods for 2,000, there are range hoods for 5,000 reais, there are range hoods at various prices, so sometimes 5,000 reais for a range hood that you liked. That money could be invested in the countertop, the lighting, the cabinetry, and so on. Okay, so this is a perspective I want you to get from me here. Keep the electrical outlet in place, but hold off on installing it. Use the space first, then let me know if you'll need it. Gourmet faucet on your kitchen countertop. Are you the kind of person who likes and uses a gourmet faucet on the countertop? Or are you one of those people who thinks it's just a big bulky thing? I did a survey here on the channel in the community tab asking you all, would you install a gourmet faucet in your kitchen? Yes, Edipo, I like it, think it's cool and not bulky. What do you think? If you were going to renovate your kitchen, if you were going to make a new kitchen, would you use a gourmet faucet in your kitchen? Tell me here, no. Edipo Kleber, it's bulky. Look, I got the results. It was almost a tie. If you go to the community tab, you'll see that poll there. It was almost a tie, 51 to 49. Until I checked, it could go either way. Who uses it and who doesn't? If you followed me here a long time, I apologize. You guys know that I'm not in favor of using a gourmet faucet in the kitchen for a balcony. I agree. Now, for the kitchen, I'm in favor of using a cleaner, lighter, and softer faucet. Something that doesn't draw as much attention as a gourmet faucet, because why a gourmet faucet, guys? It has size and arch, glamour, and attracts attention. But that's not the message I want for your new project. I want harmony. I want everything in your kitchen, not just the faucet, to be in harmony. Installing a gourmet faucet draws attention. It's a statement piece. Consider if a gourmet faucet truly fits your home. I'm not saying you can't use it. Pay attention. You can use it without any problem. If it's your taste, if you like it, go ahead and put it in. There's no problem at all. Let's be happy. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. As I've mentioned, there are items you might ask about in the comments like, okay, Ed, you mentioned it, but where is it? The purchase link is right here. In the video description, there's the purchase link about the Gourmet faucet, which I like to use in my projects, and also some lighter, cleaner models that you might be able to fit into your project. There's also the purchase link for the range hood. I didn't mention the range hood to you here, but there's their purchase link, and there's also the purchase link here as well. For the linen wallpaper, just click one of these links below. Everything is ready for you. And also, since I talked a lot about kitchen items here and now about the Gourmet faucet, pay attention. Do you see this sink that's showing up here on the screen for you? I posted this sink model over on our TikTok here at Arcset Decorações, and this sink model went viral. That video got over 1 million views, thousands of comments and likes. Anyway, it blew up because this is a multifunctional sink. It's a type of sink you don't see just anywhere, okay? It has a Gourmet faucet on it, but it's a lighter, cleaner looking Gourmet faucet. It has 2 waterfall outlets there for you to do the cleaning, right? To wash the food. And it also has a really good flow for everyday use. There's a glass rinser there too. Look, that's cool. There's a glass rinser there as well, which is really interesting. So, if you want to raise it, I even like to joke around. I joked around a lot with the guys when I posted this video on our TikTok and Instagram. If you want to go viral too, if you want to have a kitchen that stands out, put in a sink like this and you'll see, okay? There are various sizes and prices if you want it bigger, right? It'll be a bit more expensive, but standard sizes like 60 or 50 cost less. And I'll also leave the purchase link for it down below in the description. For you guys, alright, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll keep talking about these things here. You may agree or disagree with me, and that's fine. Comment if you agree or not. These 10 items I showed are decorations and trends that will go out of style in 2025. Leave a comment with your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't yet, and like the video. Alright, and just reminding you that the items we saw here in this video, faucet, range hood, wallpaper, I also mentioned the sink. All the purchase links for them are down below, in the description of this video or in the first pinned comment, alright? I hope you all enjoyed it. A big hug to everyone, and I'll see you in our next video.